Hello everyone, it's Kari back here again with you to share another really great Halloween card. This time I'm using this beautiful Feline Spooky stamp set from Missing Stamps. It is so great with lots of different cat options to use. Then, of course, the Halloween Mandala stencil, one of my favorites, and I just don't get to use this one enough, so I'm excited to use it today. I'm also bringing in the Magnolia frame die from a die set from Missing Stamps. This is beautiful, and that's going to be the center focal point of our card today. I'm going to build it up 3 times, so I cut it out of black and then also 3 different cuts of white cardstock, and I'm just placing that cat where I think the center is going to be, leaving enough space for my sentiment and also making sure that that mandala is going to fit right on there. So basically I'm just making sure the cat's going to fit right inside that frame, and then I'm going to stamp the cat down onto my cardstock. I'm using Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock for this card panel, and this is going to work really well for not only Copic coloring but also ink blending. So I stamped that in black, and now I'm going to use one of the centers of one of the white frame dies. I actually cut this with computer paper, so it's really thin, and I'm going to place it right in the center of that frame. Now you can barely see it here, but it is there. I just used some repositionable adhesive to put that down, and now I'm going to ink blend this Halloween mandala. This is beautiful. It has jack-o'-lanterns, bats, broomsticks, spider webs, and it's just a really cool design. I'm starting with some dried marigold distress oxide, and then I'm going to go in with some crackling campfire distress oxide for a darker shade of orange, like an orangey red. And I'm going to go around the outside with that. This is so beautiful. Apologize for the shaking here. Apparently my table setup was hitting my table as I was doing the ink blending. I've got to fix that. And then I'm going to go around the edges of the corners with some black soot. That's just going to give it a little more darkness, but look at how cool that mandala is. I'm going to remove the tape from the back, and then I'll remove that mask that I made from the computer paper to cover up the cat. And you can see the cat is safe under there. He is ready to be colored. I'm just going to remove that sticky residue left behind from the adhesive using my adhesive eraser. Pretty simple because they were just repositionable dots there. Now this frame is going to look really great, but before we add the frame, we're going to go ahead and color up that cat. I'm going to put my paper underneath for my Copic coloring, and I'm just using 3 shades of cool gray markers today. This image is so simple to color up, and you can color it darker if you want to. Today I just wanted kind of a grayish black cat. If my C5 marker was ready to go, I would have probably used that and brought in a darker cool gray as well, but I'm waiting on my re-inker to get here. So C3, C1, and C0 are the colors that I stuck with, and I go over this a couple of times to get it a little bit darker, but I just love this cat image. It's a very unique looking cat. It looks like a Halloween cat, don't you think? And how many of you are superstitious and would rather not have a black cat walk in your way? I'm not overly superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. So this is a very simple image, as I said, to color. It's a really great stamp set all around. And as I showed you before, there's also an image with lots of cats and witches' hats together, which is another favorite of mine to color. I'm going to go ahead and put these frames together by building up those white frames, and then I'll add the black frame right on top of that, and then I'll add that to the card panel. This is coming together so well, and look how easy these are to put together. I just use a small amount of liquid adhesive with that small, see how I have just a really small nib on this glue? This is one of my favorite glues right now to use, and it's great for small images and small die cuts like this. So after I put that in, I decided it needed some polka dots in the background just to fill in some of that white back there. And I'm going to go in with my YR00 and YR02. I started out with the YR02 and I decided that was a little bit too dark. So I'm going to go in with the YR00 and then add some shadows with the YR02. So as I add these little dots, then I'm going to add some small ones, some big ones. Then I'm going to add some little shadows just to the bottom left portion of each of these polka dots. It's going to give it a little more dimension look. And then I'll blend that out with the YR00. Now in the video it's kind of hard to tell, but in real life you can see that separate color there. I'm going to just make it a little darker. Just the shadow part. This is such an easy way to fill in a background when you have too much white space and you want to fill that in. You could have left it all white if you want to, but I just really like those polka dots. Now I'm going to trim this down just the smallest amount so that I can put that on a black background. That way we'll have like a black frame all the way around. So I'm just trimming the smallest amount from each of these sides. Just like so, and then I will put that on the black frame, and then we'll attach the whole thing to a card base. Now, the fun thing about a mandala stencil is it gives you an opportunity to dress it up quite a bit. So you can leave it like this if you want, but of course I am not going to stop there. No, no, no. I'm going to add some sparkle to this card, and we'll finish that off with some sparkle. So for the sentiment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that black inside piece, and I'm going to stamp and white heat emboss one of the sentiments from the stamp set. It says, Happy Meowoween. There's also a stamp in there that says, You're freaking me out, which I really like. And there's You're the Cat's Meow and Feline Witchy. Have a perfectly wicked Halloween. There's lots of great sentiments you could choose, but for this one, I chose Happy Meowoween, and I'm going to go ahead and put that onto a gold frame there, and then I'm going to put all of that onto another black frame that's just a little bit bigger. So that's going to build up our sentiment and give it some frames around it, so it's really going to pop out on that background. I'll attach that to the card, and then we're going to add even more sparkle by bringing in some gems. For this one, I brought in some black and some orange gems, and I had a couple of these that I haven't, I just love gems, don't you? I haven't used these in quite a while, but for Halloween, they are perfect. Black and orange, right? It's classic. So I'm going to arrange some around, putting some on the centers of each of those spider webs, and then adding some orange around the whole perimeter of this mandala. Just kind of sprinkling them about. That's going to give us some good sparkle. It'll catch the light. It adds just a really fun touch. Of course, it's always very, very optional, but I like the extra. So there you can see the gold shimmering on that Happy Meowoween sentiment. Those gems really pick up the light as well. I hope you can see that. And for the eyes, I'm bringing in some yellow stickles, make his eyes glow just a little bit. And that's, oh, see, You're Freaking Me Out would be really perfect for this one too. I should have changed up the sentiment. I actually had to make this little card twice because the first time my camera, I forgot to press record. Luckily, this is a really simple card to make, so I made two. I could have changed up the sentiment. I did them exactly the same just in case I needed to use footage from both of them to bring in. But look how fun. I really enjoyed making this card. I love that stencil. As I say, stencils can really make a card. This is so beautiful. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It really does help me out. I hope you've been enjoying these Halloween cards, and I hope you'll come back again and again. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll be back soon with more card inspiration. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.